Hello, my friends, and welcome back to the Orange Butterfly Effect. Today, I am here with the awe-inspiring James Monahan. Jamie, welcome to the Orange Butterfly Effect.
Thank you, Michelle. Thank you for having me. I really appreciate this opportunity to sit and chat with you.
Of course, it is a joy to have you here today. And I know that we are friends, so I refer to you as Jamie. So throughout the episode, I will be calling you Jamie. And for those of you that don't know you, I do have a formal introduction. I like to start by introducing you as I know you, and then
Okay.
you'll fill in the gaps for me, okay?
Sounds good. Thank you.
All right, so here's my long list of things that are all things Jamie. Number one, you are a certified recovery and intake specialist at Luzerne County Community College. You are an award winning two-time entrepreneur, which I'm sure you'll tell me and us about, the founder and CEO of BedRez, a motivational speaker, a student, 5 years sober as of December. Congratulations to you on that. That's a huge, I love when I loved writing that down.
You know that roster of accolades and things that I'm currently doing now is it's mind blowing. And thank you for referring to me as Jamie. So now my real name is James Monahan, but since I was a little boy, my family's called me Jamie, and that stuck over the years. So I'm born and raised from the Scranton, Pennsylvania area. I've been in this location my whole life, and you just read that to me, and it kind of allows me to sit back because 5 years ago I had none of that.
And I have even more. That the list was not complete. Father to
Okay,
be.
father to
Father to
be.
be is on my list. And then I was really thinking about all of our interactions. I know we were just together a few days ago at the TechBridge Innovation Conference, and you were reminding me and our shared friend Shawnee that we met, what was it, 3 years ago at the Innovation Conference?
Yes, it was 2022. Now, I thought of this morning, and I wanted to tell you. So, I just came back from my therapy session up in Scranton, and I told her that I was coming on to your podcast, and uh, and I said, I don't know, I'm putting good vibes out there in the world, and if it just helps one person, I've done my job to help
Yeah.
someone. And in 2022, I believe it was, I was a guest at one of the Tech Bridge conferences at King's College, and I didn't know what I wanted to do in life. I didn't have a startup. I didn't have a job. I was just going back to school and trying to stay sober. I was a little over a year sober. And I sat down and listened to the panel. It was you, Shawnee, and Bree. And
Mm-hmm.
after I heard your 3 year stories, I think that was, and I know we'll get to my aha moment, right? Um, that you've helped that one person and that one person sitting on this call with you today. So it's a delayed 3 years later that I said this morning, if I could just help one person with this podcast. But 3 years ago, all three of you helped me and gave me the confidence to go down this path to take my journaling from treatment, and I know we'll get into it, and hopefully now launch it as a startup.
Thank you for saying that. Those Bree and and Shawnee, just that
Hmm.
was a magical moment for me too, to be on stage with those
Right.
two powerhouses. But I remember that exact moment that you came up to us after the
Hmm.
presentation. And in reflection this morning as well, I was thinking you are a very unique person because you're able to take opportunity and turn it into action. There was a reason that you were in that room that day. And not
Hmm.
only did you introduce yourself and make a statement, but then you did something with it. So has that always been within you? What is that?
You know what, too, and it is. It's been a gift and a curse for me too, because in my active addiction, um, I've always put 110% of everything I was doing, no matter if it was for the good or the bad, right?
Yeah.
And this time in sobriety, I have some great support in my close family. My brother and I talk a lot, and he said, James, this time around, when you do something, be strategic about the 110% that you're putting in, right?
Mm,
I was
yeah.
just diving head first in everything I've done. And that day when I met the three of you, I didn't know what I wanted to do. I knew I wanted to help people, help, and that helped myself. But just going to that conference, I sat back and said, I can do this. And if I put the action behind it, hopefully one day I'll be sitting on that panel. Right. And strategically, that helped me get to where I'm at today. And I love that, before this, I did see about the good, the bad, the ugly.
Mm-hmm.
And the good is I didn't die. Right. I in the depths of my addiction, I thought it would be better off if I was gone to help my family and to relieve that burden within me. The bad was, I'm sorry, that was the bad. The good is, no, I'm sorry, the good. The bad is I did hit my rock bottom and I
Yeah.
had to raise my hand and say, I need help. Please, someone help me. And I gave up. I felt like I was quitting living. And the ugly was from the first day I stopped using and drinking to today. It wasn't a happy road where to get to today, but I'm happy it was ugly because I got to appreciate it more where I'm at today. So
Yeah.
the journey from actually raising my hand, not wanting to live to get to today, it's I'm still waiting to wake up from a dream. No more nightmares. They used to be nightmares, but today I could sit back and say, you know what, I've done all that.
You have. And ever since 2022, when I met you for the first time, you've been the one on stage. I have seen you on stage time and time again, sharing your stories so beautifully and gracefully, like you're doing now. Definitely inspiring that one in the room, more than one, Jamie. I know that you are humble, but I'm sure that you've had an impact on many, many people because you have been so open and honest and vulnerable. And you have just made so many moves. And that's why when we were communicating back and forth about today, I really want the theme to be turning that pain into purpose, because
Mm-hmm.
that is exactly what you have done and are doing. So, for those that don't know your story, would you mind just sharing 5 years?
Absolutely.
So, what happened in the last, let's actually say 6 years, because it'll be five
Sure.
years sober. So, obviously, there was a year
Right.
before that where some decisions were made. So, what happened in Jamie's world over the last 6 years?
And let's go back to the 6 years, the year of 2020, which was tough for a lot of people. And a little further back, I started drinking and using at the age of 15. I started using when I went to college and earned a football scholarship to East Stroudsburg University. And when I left my town here, my whole world collapsed because I got consumed with addiction.
Mm.
But once 2020 hit, I lost my job. I had no insurance. I was going through a bad breakup, and it wasn't even a bad breakup. It just wasn't meant to be. And my addiction took over, right? And the number one thing in 2020 was to get high and drunk, right? I look back at it now thinking it was, it's so sickening to think that way. But I didn't care about my family. I didn't care about my friends. I didn't care about working. I didn't care about living. And it's like the fire was in me for so long that I think I was ready to give up.
Yeah,
Right. And I wanted my life to end so I didn't have to go through pain anymore. My family didn't have to go through pain anymore. But if something happened like that, I would have put them through way worse than sitting in addiction. Right.
of course.
I live by this quote now every day is I am way more addicted to my recovery than I ever was in active addiction.
I wrote that down from your interview with Dan because I thought what a powerful feeling to have and to
Mm-hmm.
share with others, and how motivational for someone to know that, again, that's what you could spin this devastation into.
Right. And you know what, too? The past 5 years now. So we went 6 years. 6 years, I was drinking and using every day until the end of 2020. And it's like I was literally withering away. I was 170 pounds. Today I'm 210 pounds, healthier. Um, I couldn't function without drugs or alcohol. And I knew it was the time I was done running. Uh, I had nothing else in me. And I threw my hands up and I needed help. And I know
Yeah.
we'll get into the startup of BedRez, but that's what sparked to where I'm at today because I did sit in my parents' spare bedroom and wait 22 days to find a bed. 20, just over 3 weeks. And in the recovery addiction world, that's way too long. 24 hours is too long to find a bed, right?
Yeah.
And it took me that long. And if it wasn't for them, I wouldn't be on this call with you today. I wouldn't be planning on being a father in October. I wouldn't have purchased a home where basically 5 years ago I was homeless. Had the opportunity to go back to Luzerne County Community College and get a degree, a 2-year degree, where I continue my education now at Penn State, where LCC hired me full time to help students in recovery. Now, the list is getting full, but at the end of the day, I feel like I'm not doing enough, right? So meeting you in 2022, I couldn't even have a conversation with you. And today, having the opportunity to go on stage or podcast, I love going up there and telling my story.
Yeah, and so I am not as educated on this, but I was trying to educate myself in preparation for this conversation. And there's a framework I came across, and it's called the Post-Traumatic Growth Framework, or PTG. And I'm not sure
Mm-hmm.
if you've come across this, but what I learned is that those that oftentimes have these life struggles enter into entrepreneurship or passion-driven work because of this newfound appreciation for life, personal strength, and new abilities. Does that resonate with you at all? Are you familiar with that theory? What what are your thoughts on that?
I am. And you know what, too? A lot of it has become triggered or trauma based
Yeah.
because now that I'm sober 5 years, it's a totally different Jamie 5 years later, right? Than I was back then. I'm thinking different. I'm looking different. I'm walking different. I'm talking different. Uh, and I know that anything's possible because I was so deep in addiction that now anything's possible, right? So today, the no's are helping me get to the yeses. And two, if I hear a no, if I can't do something, I'm going to pivot and figure out how I can do it. Back then, I was just giving up. All right, that's
Yeah.
it. That's my life. This is how it's supposed to be. But I think in early recovery, a lot of people want to help save the world because of the stuff they've done in the past during their addiction.
Mm-hmm.
But once you find who you are and consistently do, I'm going to say the small things. If we're trusted with small, we'll be trusted with many, right? So
Yeah.
just doing those small little routines gets me to where I'm at today about to launch a startup. I'm okay that I'm having a baby on the way, that I work full time at the college, and it's not too overwhelming for me, right? In the beginning, it would have been. If this happened 4 years ago, who knows? I might have run the other direction and started
Yeah.
using and drinking again, right? But today I can handle it. My father always says to me, now he's 34 years sober. He's
Oh,
a
wow.
Vietnam vet, and he said some mind blowing things to me. He said it was harder getting sober than it was fighting in Vietnam, which it
Mhm.
blows my mind, right?
Yeah.
And two, he said, Jamie, today in recovery, they're just situations. When they become problems, that's when addiction shows up.
Yeah.
Everything today in my life is a situation that I can get out of situations, but I can't get out of problems.
And remind me of when the seed was planted for BedRez, because I know you found your bed after far
Hmm.
too long, and then you were journaling. Is that correct? And your journal almost
That's
became your business plan. So
that's
walk us
correct.
through that.
All right. So when I finally got one place to call back and give me a bed, it was a state funded place in Dallas, Pennsylvania. And I said to my parents, I'll take it. I don't care what it is. I'll take it. And when I went there, it was like I kind of stuck out because I didn't look like the actual patient. Patients were calling me the employee. They thought I was one of the employees there. And I said, no, I need to be here. I'm actually worse off than a lot of you people. And
Yeah.
I was on the men's floor, and within 2 weeks, I guess from the passion that I had to help myself, they named me community leader. So I ran groups for almost 3 months. I was there for 71 days. And being there for that long, I sat in my room. I prayed. I journaled. I read. And I said, I'll do anything that I can do to help myself get out of what I'm in. And my journaling became my idea for a startup. So I saw the disconnect. Gentlemen were coming back to my group after a 28-day stay, and they would stop programming on themselves. They would stop reading their AA books or NA books. And I would ask them, what are you waiting for? What are you doing? Well, my counselor's trying to find me a bed at a second level place so I can leave here. So you stop programming? Like,
Yeah.
your recovery goes every day, right? So I saw that disconnect, and at the place I was at, there was a dry eraser board on the wall with over 200 patients' names on it. And I
Wow.
saw a disgruntled employee taking an eraser and he erased it all when they walked out. And nobody knew who was in what beds at what time. And I'm thinking, there's got to be an easier way, right? And that sparked me to creating a business plan for BedRez, and it's short for bed reservations, and it's open and broad for people in mental health, for addiction, for eating disorders, whatever facilities that they want to go into, that it's going to help them find the bed when they need it the most, right? And it's a recovery resource network helping that individual's families find the bed when they need it the most. So that's where I'm at today. And you know what, too? Back in May, I was in the Luzerne County Tech Accelerator. I was one of 7 startups, which
Yep.
phenomenal program. For the 10 weeks that I got to meet the best people trying to launch their companies, which they are going to launch, which is awesome. A lot of them are in year 1. Last year I was in year 1, and I wanted to give up, and I didn't hear my name called at Tech Bridge at the award ceremony.
Yep.
And this year, the night before, Shawnee, now she was one of your guests previously.
Yep.
She is my mentor. She started off with me last year at Tech Bridge. She's still with me. I didn't want to show up to week 10. I didn't want to do the presentation at the Think Center. And she talked me into it. And at that night, I was the one holding the bigger check, which we all won that night, right? Any one of us could have won. And I guess BedRez right now is an immediate need, which is what I'm hearing from a lot of the judges. And
Yep.
that trickled over into, I think it was 3 weeks later, after going in front of the judges at Misericordia University, then I went back to the Kirby Center and I heard BedRez called for the grand prize of $10,000, which something you know about because I've saw some of your stuff that you've done before with Tech Bridge.
But I was
And
cheering
that's
for you
what's
that night. I know you were sitting adjacent from me. So
right.
I got to have the full experience. Your family was there. What was that moment like for you? Were you able to connect with that celebration in the moment, or did you have to
Uh,
exhale and take some time?
it was when I heard my name called, it was like, no way, I don't deserve this. This
But
isn't
you
for
do.
me.
But you did, and you
Uh,
do.
and you know what? That made it so much more real that BedRez can be a real company.
Yeah.
Leading up to this point, it's like, no one's going to take me serious. No one's going to help out. People don't want to put themselves out there to help get this out because why aren't companies doing it now? Right. And I'm still looking into finding out why. But for your interaction with me that night when I got up and I came back to my seat and you're there mentoring other people that are in the competition, your kindness and generosity never wavered because you and I met in 22. You've helped me last year in the beginning of this year with Tech Bridge, along with helping people from Misericordia, or if they were at Alvernia where you were before that. So it's amazing when you can ask for the help, right? What I wish I knew in my 20s, right?
Oh, yeah. Give me this.
That
Thank you. Tell me, what
yeah,
do you
that
wish you
are
knew?
I wish I wasn't so stubborn that I could have asked for the help earlier because I would have got the help earlier, right? And who
Yeah.
knows? I could have been, let's say, 15, 20 years sober now, launched BedRez, helping so many hundreds of thousands of people out there. But my time is now. It wasn't in my 20s, right? I've learned from my 20s to get to my 30s and 40s, right?
Yep.
And today it's easier to ask for help because the help is there when I was too stubborn to ask for it in my 20s. Now, for the younger people that are coming out of college in their mid 20s trying to find their way, I found my way at 42 years old. It took a long time, right? But I found it and I have a purpose to live today because I want to live.
Yeah.
And if BedRez doesn't work out, I'm so connected to the startup world, the entrepreneurship in the Northeastern Pennsylvania, that I'll ask for help to do something else.
I know you,
right?
I believe, I have faith that it will absolutely work out, but I know that your entrepreneurial spirit is strong and you are already a master pivoter in life. You've pivoted so many times. So regardless of if it is BedRez as it is in this
Mhm.
present moment, BedRez will become something. It has to. It's you. It will
It-
because it's you.
And you know what, Sue? After I heard my name called the second time in May, that was on a Thursday night. The Friday morning, everyone started coming out of the woodworks. People
Hmm.
that I was trying to get on board 2, 3 years ago, now they're calling and saying, "I can help. What can I do to help?" Investors coming to the table, and I know everybody wants something back. I get that, right? I watch Shark Tank, right?
Yep.
Uh, but at the end of the day, now I am potentially raising I'm connected to OVR. They're up in Scranton and in Wilkes-Barre. They're called Office of Vocational Rehabilitation. They've been helping me with grants for school. I was told by my rep that since you're a business student, we have a small business grant match up to $30,000.
Wow.
And I just got approved now with the contest money in this. I could potentially raise around $45,000 to start without taking loans out. So it's easier for me to sit in front of a developer and say, here's what I wanted to build. Here's my framework. And you know what? I'm gonna release out there on social media. I have the original drawing on a piece of paper of BedRez from 4 years ago.
That is amazing. What can you describe the piece of paper to me now? Is it tattered? Is it in pristine condition? Is it on the back of a
It's
napkin? Where is this thing?
I have it in a folder now, right? And I think I'm the only one that understands it because when I tried to pitch that 3 years ago, everyone started laughing at me. It was too much. And when I became one of the contestants in the Tech Rich Collegiate Business Plan competition, that's what I originally pitched to Shawnee, and her head exploded. I saw smoke coming out of her ears, and she said, "All right,
We
let's
love
make it
you,
a lot
Shawnee.
easier." Right, we do, and I wouldn't be sitting here today if it wasn't for her, right?
Yeah.
And but I was pitching something totally different. All right. Last year, I cashed out by not getting cash at the end of Tech Bridge, but the connections, the mentors, the
Of
people I've met
course.
through the entire process. One person that sticks out to me is when I didn't hear BedRez called in 2024 was Jocelyn down from Hazleton.
Well,
And
yeah,
Jocelyn said to me,
wonderful.
Jamie, BedRez isn't ready today, but it could be ready next year. And here we are today,
And it was. And I know
which
you brought that up in your speech too, your acceptance speech. Yeah.
and I did, and you know, you got to give credit where credit's due, and I'm a loyal person, and I've known a lot of people that are here to help me. I know that who helped me get here, but having the opportunity to sit on a phone call, send an email, a conversation, a group, a podcast with you helps me get over the fear of I can't do this because I
Yeah.
can. And people like you are giving us the confidence to come to the plate and keep swinging and swinging and swinging until something happens.
Well, you're the one that keeps showing up and showing up in such a strong and powerful way. And I know one thing that you talk about and why I think it's so wonderful that you're on the main stage and willing to do that is the stigma that
Mhm.
exists around addiction, right? Have you experienced, I know you said you had a lot of helpers, which is great, but have you been met with that at all on your
You,
entrepreneurial journey?
you know, too, I'm so happy you said that. And a lot of people don't experience this because they're not from addiction. They don't go into recovery. And it's hard to say recovery. It's just, I'm not drinking or using today, right? I
Yeah.
choose not to do that. But besides my close family, my amazing girlfriend, Raven, my family that I'm building now, my friends, my sponsor, outside of that group, people that know me want to see me fail because they might be struggling with something going on in their life.
Mm-hmm.
And it feels good to see someone else fail because they're not in the spotlight to fail. Right. But
That's hard.
today, five years later, that gives me the fuel to keep going. That gives me the confidence to keep going. You know, and today I'm comfortable with who I am and the people that are in my support group. Now, before addiction, anybody was around you that could be toxic, right? Today, I create my own support group.
Yeah.
Meeting you for the first time, I could have been a little like taken back because I was intimidated because you're coming off stage and you have this glow around you and you're doing so much that I would look at myself with not enough self-esteem to say I can be there, I can do that, that could be me. But letting myself vulnerable to meet you, meet Shawnee, meet Bree, meet people that were at TechBridge helps me get to today, which now I'm in a position this fall that I'm entering into the Penn State Wilkes-Barre, the internship program that I'm going to be hiring an intern. He's
Oh,
fantastic.
wow.
He's going to be starting with me this fall. I'm going to
Awesome.
pay him, which I'm in a position I could help pay him now. He's going to get credits to graduate, and he's a business student at Penn State. I'm a junior at Penn State World Campus, so it's getting in on the ground floor to help these business students that are in their mid 20s that say, you know what, I can be the entrepreneur.
Yeah.
I need my start. Where am I starting? And it's going to be a cool journey, and I'm happy that I'm sitting here watching it and see where it's going to take me.
And I know great advice for those that are in their 20s to say, ask for help if you haven't
Mm-hmm.
already. But then
Mm-hmm.
it's really difficult to accept help. And one thing I talk a lot about with entrepreneurs is although I encourage entrepreneurs to be a sponge and soak in all of the advice that you get, sometimes you get advice that is not, you don't, it may not serve you.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to say that in the nicest way possible. What have you done when you've asked for help, but the help hasn't served you? Has that happened to you at all?
It has. And today I'm comfortable enough to keep pivoting and finding the help that will help me. Right. I go back to my roots and know who was there from day one. Who called me those 3 weeks when I sat in that spare room?
Yeah.
Who said I can get to today? Right. Um, but it's okay. I'm so open minded now that if someone can't help me, maybe something's going on in their personal life. Or how can I pivot and help them that will help me? Right. Um, I live by, and I said this every day in treatment, do something today that your future self will help you for.
I love that
Right.
statement.
Because I said that 5 years ago and I'm sitting in front of you today. And hopefully 5 years from now, I could be 10 years sober. My daughter will be 5 years old.
Yeah.
BedRez will be launched. And it's these small things that I do right now will pay off hopefully down the road. Right. And I wasn't doing that for the first 25 years of my life. And today I am, and it's benefiting me. It's getting to me to where I'm at today. It's helped me build a career, build a family, find my own home.
Yep.
5 years ago, I had nowhere to live when I got out of treatment. I checked myself into a rehab, or I'm sorry, I checked myself into a hotel on 315 across from the casino. And the money I had, I spent at that hotel for 4 weeks, for a month. I was going to AA meetings every night, raising my hand, saying, I'm new in recovery. I need a place to live.
Yeah.
Someone please just help me.
And so for someone who might still be in the midst of the mess,
Mm-hmm.
they haven't had, maybe they have had their rock bottom moment, which you were so kind in sharing your own. Maybe they haven't. What advice do you have for someone that's in the midst of a mess?
It's okay to give up on what you're currently doing. It's okay to ask for help. The number one thing I did is I kept my mouth shut. I went into
Mhm.
treatment and I did the opposite of everything I wanted to do. Now, I'm going to kind of spin this a little bit so we're not down and out, but I'm a huge Seinfeld fan,
Okay.
right? And bear
Uh-huh.
with me.
No, I
And
love this. Tell me.
George Costanza gets the job at the Yankees. He gets the date because he wants to do everything opposite of what he wants to do,
Yeah.
right? I honestly lived by that when I went to treatment. I said, say yes, sir, yes, ma'am. Go to your groups, listen to your counselor, listen to your aftercare counselor, and things should start working out for you. And it's as basic as picking up a book, which I started off with the Blue Book, AA, and just reading. It's elementary as reading. And it's if you do what's suggested in there, you'll have a better chance to succeed. There's thousands of people out there trying to do their own thing, and they're right back into the addiction.
Right. Go back to the basics. That's what that sounds
Right.
like.
right?
And so you have so much to be proud of. So when I knew this question would come up, and I don't
Hmm.
even know what you could say, because what are you most proud of with all of the things that you've accomplished over the last, I'm going to say 6 years, because I think that 5 years is something to celebrate, but over the course of however long, but absolutely most recently, what are you most proud of?
I'm going to say meeting my girlfriend Raven, and her and I starting a family in October. So
Yeah.
baby RJ will be on the way. I'm just giving the initials, but everything else doesn't matter when it comes down to that, right? For years, I felt like I've been solo on an island,
Yeah.
which I just had to take care of myself, and I did it in such wrong ways. But today, I have a higher, bigger purpose, and for as long as I live on this earth, Raven and my daughter will never see me out of drunk, and that's
Yeah.
my new passion. Uh, and then everything else falls into place, right? So I had the I had the ability to go back to school, which I didn't know what I wanted to do. I listened to LCC, what I had done there. I was in the ARI program, which is the All One Recovery Educational Institute. I did everything they asked me to, and my education was taken care of. And then all my credits transferred to Penn State as a junior, right? So I've tried for years to get an education, and with that 2 year degree, the associates that I got there, I got hired full time right away. It gave me benefits. I was unhireable 5, 6, 7, 10 years ago. I was jumping from job to job. That company owes me more. They owe you what? You're a dropout. You're a drug addict, right? Today, that fuels me. I hear
Yeah.
that, and it's like, I believe that we're the most unique people in the world. That if we can get through the depths of darkness and get to where we're going, then anything is possible.
Yeah, and your light shines so bright. And a question I had for
Maybe
you,
because it's sunny in here.
it is very your background. And I know you've read all of those books behind you because I know you are
You're right.
constantly absorbing. So I am going to ask you, I'll plant the seed for what your recommended read is because I want to know and I want the audience to know. But before I ask you that question, when was the first time, Jamie, that you shared your story publicly and shined your light? When was the very first time that you were on that main stage?
It was, I believe it was 2023. I got invited to King's for a Stop the Stigma festival they had there. And
Okay.
the day before that, I was invited on with Chris and Rachel Malik at PA Live.
Oh, yeah.
And I told kind of my condensed 5 minute version of my story. But then the next day, I was one of the three guest speakers there at a Stop the Stigma wellness fair, and I got to talk for about a half hour on my story and the passion I have, and nothing is going to stop me. And there was a lot of hurdles along the way. Um, People didn't want to help me. Universities that reached out to me, and then they didn't want to. I don't know what it was. I don't know if it was stigma. I don't know if it was they want to be attached to that. But I kept gravitating towards the support that was there for me, who wanted to
Yeah.
help me, and LCC went above and beyond, and they still do because I'm full time now there. And along with going to Penn State now, you know what? It might have taken me 25 years to get a degree, but I'm going to get a degree,
Oh, hell yeah. Who cares about the
right?
time?
Right? And it's like, and I tell students now, patience. Patience got me to where I'm at today. I walked into my now office and talked to the former CRS. I was just trying to stay sober for an hour.
Yeah,
And now that today that's my office, my name's on the door, and it feels good to have the name on the door, right?
of course it
I'm going
does.
to I'm going to segment that into, you said, a book, right?
Yeah, did you think of it? Tell me which one.
And the reason why I'm pulling this up, right? Raven told me all about this, and over the years, I blew through so much money. I didn't care. I didn't plan, and now I'm going to be a father within 3 months.
Yep.
Rich dad, poor dad.
Oh, okay. Well, I've never heard of this one. Give me the spark notes.
So the writer of this book had two fathers, a stepfather and his father. His stepfather had money. His real father didn't.
Okay.
And he saw the both sides of it, of living day to day. Let's just get the bills paid. How to value money. The father that had the money, different mindsets. How do we build our organization? How do we make more? How do we invest? Right? So he took the both sides of it and wrote a powerful book that helps parents with their children to start planning now so they don't have to struggle like I'm doing now or before this. Right? So
Yeah.
when I heard that, started reading, I'm like, what is this? Just an investment book? Put so much money away, and then by 18 she'll be set off. She'll be good for college. No, it's amazing to hear the both perspectives of it, of someone sitting there and has two father figures telling them, here's how money works, here's how money works. Now what do you do with it?
I'm a huge advocate for financial literacy. So I love that you will instill that in your daughter and have those critical conversations because similarly, I didn't understand how money worked until far
Mm-hmm.
too late in life. And a blessing to understand how it works now. But that's a big part of the equation, right? I do a
Right.
lot of my research in life satisfaction, and there is a cutoff point. So I think it's over $70,000 from a Harvard study that if so $70,000, there's a point where, of course, your needs are met and you're more satisfied with life.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But once you continue, there's a cutoff point. It's not once you make $1 million, there's not really much of a difference between making
Mm-hmm.
$70,000 and $1 million in life satisfaction. But we need to be able to we need our basic needs to be met, of course,
Right.
to be satisfied. And we don't have those conversations enough to say, okay, well, if I'm majoring in X or doing Y, what does that really
Mm-hmm.
mean for the outcome of my life? So I wasn't expecting that. I wasn't expecting a book like that. I thought you'd go back to a classic, but that was a really great curveball.
You like that?
I
And
did.
that's what it is. I could have picked any book behind me, but I'm going through this. I was going to pick. I have another book over here. It's a father to be book,
Yeah.
but I didn't want to bore anybody with that, you know. But for me, it's going to be different than someone else would be raising their child, right? So, what's going to help my child from not having to go through what I went through, right? So now we go back to addiction. People's like, is it in your genes? Well, my girlfriend doesn't drink or use. She never really did, right? And
Hmm.
that's huge for me because I'm not around it, right? But I'm from addiction. So is she going to have my genes or is she going to have her genes? And you know what? It's how we raise her, and when those situations come up in her life, how we react to it, right?
Right.
And as she's old enough, I want to sit there and talk with her and let her know what it did to me. You know, you don't want to. I don't want to hide that from her because who knows? The next 5, 10, 20 years from now, the world's going to be totally different than it is today, right? We were at a conference on Thursday talking about AI, all AI, right? And some people said some interesting things. Were we really ready for Google at the time? No. Were we ready for cell phones at the time? No. Were we going to be ready for AI? No. But we'll adjust to it, right?
We will. And what
Um,
matters most is that we have our unique human skills, and you and I, Jamie, can look at each other in the eye. I know in a virtual setting right now, but wherever we are,
right.
and have a human connection. And that was my takeaway from that conference. And whenever we're talking about technological advancements, is thank God we are human beings.
Right, right. And you know what, too? We're going to have our mistakes. We're going to learn from them, hopefully. But you know what? I'm happy that I have this ability to sit with you today, right? Because I don't think my schedule's packed, but at the end of the day, it's like, whoa, I'm so stressed out because there's a lot on my calendar.
Yeah.
And tomorrow I'm going with we're going with my family to the beach. I haven't been to the beach in 4 years. When I went 4 years ago, I was in early recovery. I just got out of treatment. And I sat there and thinking, what's life going to throw at me next? Where am I
Yeah.
going to end up? Right. And now I could finally go away tomorrow, put my computer and my phone away, and just enjoy my family at the beach for the next 4 or 5 days. Right. Um, Not have to worry about doing home improvements, getting the baby's room ready. yeah, they'll be on my mind, but just to unplug and unwind gives me the opportunity to be refreshed and come back and be a better version of myself.
Of course, and soak up the sun. I will be sending
Right.
I will be rooting for you as you're on your
Right.
vacation because you so deserve it. And I have two more questions for you, and then
Yeah,
hopefully this
sure.
will be your then I'll send you off to your vacation. You can only think of the
Thank you.
sounds of the waves. But I was
Right.
wondering what education means to you, Jamie, because it seems we haven't talked about education in a
Hmm.
formal way, but we've sprinkled it into the conversation. So obviously, you working full time at Luzerne County
Hmm.
Community College now, getting your 2 year degree from there, now at Penn State World Campus, pursuing a bachelor's degree. Was education always really important to you, or is this something that kind of has come hand in hand with your recovery?
Two words I'm going to say about education when you said that to me is growth and opportunity.
Yeah.
I didn't have growth and opportunity back then because I didn't have an education. Now, when I left high school, I was gifted athletically. I played basketball, baseball, and football at high levels. I got scholarships for all three sports, and I thought that was my path in life. Is I'll be an athlete, it'll get me somewhere, but that always runs out, right? And it ran out for me sooner than later because I ran into drugs when I went to college and lost everything from my decisions, right?
Yep.
And then I went in the workforce, just jumping job to job, never promoted. And I gave 110% thinking I'm worth more or I could do more. Nah, that was me, just the perception of I deserve more when I don't deserve it. But today, my education's got me so far within the last 4.5, 5 years than it has in 40 years of my life, right?
Yeah.
Going back to when I was in grade school and high school. I wish I applied myself back then, and I didn't because today I just tell our students when they come in, you have to do 2 check-ins a month with me and a 2-hour or better. And if you just show up and apply yourself, you will blow that through the roof. And now my first semester back after 20 plus years, I didn't think I was smart enough. I didn't think I was good enough to go back or deserve that opportunity. My first semester was a 3.9 dean's list. I'm like, I can do
You did
this.
it. Yeah.
And then I was that annoying student sitting in the front of the classroom raising my hand when all the younger students wanted to leave early. And I kept asking the questions because I was doing what I didn't do back then
I love that student.
that helped me get to where I'm at.
Be the most prepared and the best learner in the room.
Because if I'm not today, then I'm afraid to go into something. I need to be more prepared than less prepared.
Do you find that your mindset as an athlete, your mindset as a scholar, and your mindset as being 5 years sober overlap in any way? Did that athletic mindset, did you carry that with you at all?
1 second.
Oh, yeah, sure. Take your time.
I do. It might have been the passion that I
Yeah.
gave to the sport that I'm giving to my personal life, my professional life, my education. And funny thing is, and my family and Raven keep making fun of me because Thursday night after the conference, I raced back to LCC in Nanacoke and I played in the staff softball game.
Fun.
I haven't played or swung a bat in 15, 20 years. My first at bat, I hit a home run over the fence. And it's
That's
like,
such a Jamie story to tell. Like, of course,
and
that's so you.
and it, that happened Thursday. Here we are on Monday. I'm still talking about it. I'm very sore today because I didn't stretch out enough. I thought I could just, like riding a bike, picking
Yeah,
back
yeah.
up. But she's never seen me play because she's from
Mm-hmm.
Texas. And she said after being there that night, she's like, I can see the fire on you. You're, still now and later in your life. And I could see that trickle into everything you do daily, whether it's paint the house or if it's as small as carrying a box in from the
Yeah.
front porch. Like, start taking pride in those small things because it'll pay off for me later in life.
Two more questions for you.
Right.
Next one, what is the best advice that you've ever received? I know you had some really great quotes that you shared already, and you shared
Hmm.
advice from your father, but any other advice that you received that just stuck with you and resonated with you?
That's a great question. Yes. My first counselor, I won't say her last name, but Miss Alice, she's saved my life 5 years ago.
Oh,
I sat in her office the first week in treatment and cried. And she said to me, honesty will set you free.
mm,
And when
yeah,
I heard that, it's like, wow. No one's going to judge you for what you say. Just say it. Just talk. And here I am 5 years later, that all I wanted to do in recovery is be free, live free, take the chains off.
yep.
And my chest isn't caving in today. I could take a deep breath and let it go. But she did say to me, honesty will set you free. And here I am.
That's beautiful. Thanks for sharing that.
Thank you for asking. That was great. That was a great question.
I love the answers to those questions because then we have our own repertoire, right? I'll take that advice
Right.
now. I'm sure someone listening will take that and put it in their toolbox. And now
Hey,
I
someone
have to.
listening,
Oh, go ahead.
one more thing. Someone listening today, hopefully 3 years later, that they can come back and tell us, well, I'm the one person you helped. And Michelle,
Yeah.
I'm the one person you helped. And it's just mind blowing when you think about that, because here we are 3 years later, still connected somehow, helping each
Yeah.
other. So I appreciate that.
Of course. And that's the human element, right? We're meant to be
Mm-hmm.
in rooms together. I really believe that
Right.
we were meant to be in the same place at the same time. And whoever is listening to this, and again, I know you've helped so many people already, but I love that you're still focused on the one. I think that's really admirable
Mm-hmm.
because you have your platform. You have a voice, Jamie, and it's so powerful. And again, there are not many who are as comfortable in being honest about their journey that is dark and also the struggles that you're continuing to face along the way. It's not like it was dark and now it's light. It was dark and it's
Mm-hmm.
getting lighter, right? And I
Right.
think
Right.
that's the beauty of the way that I've heard you tell your story on main stages before is you're really transparent about that you every day you work at this. It's not
Mm-hmm.
like you don't have to try. Like you woke up today with the intention to be sober, to stay sober, to pursue your entrepreneurial venture, to be, to prepare for your daughter, to work full time. Like this is a choice you're making. And I really commend you and applaud you for being able to share that.
Thank you so much. I cut you off before, and you said you had one more question for me.
The ripple effect. And
Oh boy.
this could be a moment, this could be multiple things, but what is a Jamie ripple effect? Something that you have done or seen or experienced that has had a much larger impact after that moment in time.
That is a great question. The first thing that comes to my mind is doing, stop saying. So do
Mm.
something that will make a ripple effect instead of just saying you're going to do it and don't do it.
Yeah.
My actions today are allowing other people to reach out to me and talk to me and email me and phone call me or text me. And I help guys in early recovery that just want to live sober today so they are a better boyfriend or husband or brother or father, right?
Yeah.
And I said, just do it for you. Don't do it for anybody else, because if that person's out of your life, what are you doing it for? Right? Start doing it, and then the support and the love will follow behind it. Right? People will leave a rehab after 28 or 45 days, and they're looking for that pat on the back because they went to a rehab. Well, no, the work starts when you walk out of the rehab to where you're going. You're literally building your resume. You and I started off almost an hour ago
Yeah.
where you just read my resume.
Yep.
If we sat here 5 years ago, you would be silent. You would have nothing to say about me. Because I walked out of treatment, I started doing, instead of just
Hmm.
saying to mom and dad, I'm going to do this and not do it. So if you can sit back and plan, be patient, and start doing what you're going to say you're going to do, you get it done.
Yeah. I am I love the art of doing. I think we miss out on it. And I just wrote an article about just this overload of self-help and how we overconsume self-help
Hmm.
content. And it's so easy to not do and just become paralyzed by that. But I
Right.
love your statement about doing it for you. I'm a huge yogi, and it's so silly, but there's in the practice of yoga, there's something called the self-love hug. And
Hmm.
it's like you hug yourself because, to your point, the pat on the back, we are not guaranteed that pat on the back from the people that we
Right.
love most. But we can pat ourselves on the back and do the self-love hug. And I was really shameful about that for a long time. Even in the practice of yoga, whenever that would come
Right.
up in a practice, I'd be like, I'd scoff at the thought of it.
Right.
But then when I leaned into it, I'm like, oh damn, this feels good, you know? Like this
Right.
is what I
Right.
should I mean, I love having love and support from others, of course, but I don't need it as much as I used to. So I really
Wow.
appreciate you sharing that. I think
That
that's really
that's
special.
that's powerful. Now you said yoga. I started doing hot yoga in my early recovery, but can I show you one more book
Oh, of course you can. Yes.
if I could find it right off the bat? Because if not,
You
I
do have a whole
apologize.
library back there.
I do. I do. It was a yoga for recovery book. I don't have it now. I apologize. I thought I had it right
Oh
here.
no, I'm gonna write it down in my notes. Do you remember? Do you
I,
have? Is
I,
that what it's called? Yoga for recovery?
yeah, but it's a special kind. It's like I knew nothing about yoga until someone gave me that book in my early recovery, and somehow it was parallel to what I was going through and where my life is today,
Yeah.
and it helped me grow with along with doing yoga to work out, right? And I was going above and beyond going to hot yoga, which it was 100 degrees in the room. And I guess I was sweating out all the bad vibes that I've had for years within my system,
Yes, it is true that does happen.
right? And I apologize. I wish I was a little more prepared and had it next to me. But, I can find meaning from any book. And the number one thing is when someone suggests a book to me, I rip it apart to find out why did they suggest it to me. There's
Yeah.
something in here I have to find that's unique to me because they wouldn't have given me this book or suggested it. So I kind of take that and it's kind of like a little like mystery for me to find something that will help resonate with me. So
That's a fun challenge. I haven't thought of it that way before, but I really like that approach.
and for you too, after we first met, I think on one of the help sessions in 2024 for Tech Bridge, I learned about your podcast. And then I went on and I started listening. I'm like, oh, this is powerful. Maybe one day I could be a guest on her podcast.
Oh,
And
that's
here we
so
are today.
sweet. Yeah, and I'm the one who is blessed to have you as the guest on the
Come on.
podcast.
The feeling is it's all over here. It's amazing people like you that want to help others before you even know who they are, right? And that's the biggest thing is putting yourself out there to help someone. And in the beginning that doesn't want to help themselves. You need to help yourself first, then help others, right? And when I first went to AA in the beginning, it's like you walk into a room and you're getting your sobriety coins. Do you see people here that you were using and drinking with? No, because they want it the worst in you. You see
Yeah.
people you don't even know that will get a cup of coffee with you and help you get to where you're going. So I appreciate, every conversation you and I have, and I can't wait to keep connecting down the road.
I know, me too, and I can't wait to see. I know you just set the vision for your next 5 years, but I can't wait for that Jamie, because this Jamie is just so bright. I can imagine it, but I can't wait to see it 5 years from now too.
And you know what, too? 5 years from now, we're back on another podcast episode. Hopefully, I'll have the little one sitting here with me,
Yeah, initials RJ, right?
RJ. And that's
RJ.
that's as far
Okay.
as we go until she's born. So she's due
That's
October 29th. She's gonna be a Halloween baby.
Oh, so sweet. Well, I can't wait for
Yes,
RJ to be here too. And definitely, you know what? She'll probably be the star of the episode. She'll be on stage with you, I am sure.
she already is.
She
She's
already
not even here
is.
yet. She already is.
So answer my very last question. I ask all of my guests this. Now it
Mhm.
is 11:48 a.m. So you've had somewhat of a morning. What is one thing that brought you joy? Just one today, Jamie.
This is going to break the walls of stigma. You ready for this one?
I'm ready.
Um, the the opportunity and the ability to go and sit and have therapy to help my mental health and my substance use disorder. I just came back. I was up in Scranton from 9 to 10. I usually do virtual my therapist. Today, because I'm off, I got to do it in person, which it was a blessing in disguise.
Yeah.
And then having the opportunity to come home, set up, and get ready for our opportunity here. So, um, getting out of bed this morning with the positive attitude of I'm going to better myself with my therapist, and then I'm going to help better someone else with Michelle. So I appreciate just every platform, every opportunity out there to talk and connect.
Thank you for sharing that.
I
And I
hope I
think
answered your question there.
oh yeah, you did. Absolutely. And I know I came into this conversation thinking that we'd really focus on the pain turning into purpose, which we did. But I think
Hmm.
my takeaway from listening is a little more centered around helping ourselves first to help others. I think that word help came up more than I thought it would, but I'm so glad that it did because again, we don't talk about help enough. I actually haven't heard the word help outside of this conversation in a long time.
Right.
So I am so happy that that's what came out of this connection today.
I have one question from you
Yeah,
before we finish, if I can.
of course.
So the mentorship role that you're currently in, helping startups and people in the area or students launch their dream.
hmm
What does it feel to you after someone launches and they're successful?
I often describe myself as a cheerleader because that
Mhm.
is what I spend most of my time doing. I love cheering for dream chasers. It is like whatever the dream is, big, small, or somewhere in between, it doesn't need to be the grand moment. That's how I will answer your question. It doesn't need to be Jamie on stage at TechBridge. I love to celebrate that. But for
Right.
me, what I find to be most special are those small moments of reflection or appreciation that an entrepreneur has for their own accomplishments when I hear them say
Mhm.
something and I know that they're proud of what they've done, or I know that they've learned the thing that I was waiting for them to learn, or whatever that may be, that's what really fills me up. But I think sometimes we get caught up that it needs to be this big build up moment that we celebrate. And
Right, right.
I I think it can be everything else in addition to that. So I don't know if that answers your question.
It definitely does. And you know what I want to say? Keep cheering on Hunter and Nate at Hunting Positivity. They are
Oh,
doing
yes, Hunter and Nate,
fantastic
we love
things.
you. Yeah.
They are doing fantastic things, and I'm finding more passion from younger students and gentlemen like that too. So um, I'm so happy that you're helping them to get to where they're going. But
Yeah.
this has been life changing for me today, and I'm happy that I sat with you and got to answer all your questions and had this opportunity for you to help me. So
You helped
thank you so
me,
much.
and I'm sure you helped that one other, those many others. So I so appreciate you, Jamie. Is there anything else that you want to share before I close out?
No, I just want to say thank you to you. Keep doing what you're doing. Keep shining because you're helping so many people around you. And just thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you for being here, for being you, for always showing up, and for sharing your story on every stage. I really appreciate you.
Thank you.
And to our friends, I ask you, find one thing that brings you joy today.